dropping the cough drop all day long. Okay. So today we're doing this thing called dimensional analysis. Okay? Sounds weird, right? Dimensional analysis is not science fiction. It's not like Doctor Who, not traveling through dimensions. Okay, I said that for you. I don't know. Who likes Doctor Who?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone's like Doctor Strange? No, Doctor Who. They're like, who? Yes. So dimensional analysis, really all it is, it's a process of changing units. That's all it is. So a lot of people are like, well, I can do that. Right? So my surface is 1 foot long. How many inches is it?
12.
Good, there you go. You just did dimensional analysis. Now, what if I tell you that my truck measures 1.5 tons? How many pounds is that?
2,000.
See, we need some extra help on that one, don't we?
2,000.
But, and this is why, we need to learn how to convert units. Ready?
Bless you in advance.
Bless you.
Bless you in advance.
Oh yeah, that's my cough drops for you. I'm allergic to something cough drops. I think it's the menthol. It's that when you have a cough drop and it like opens up your sinuses a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the menthol. I'm allergic to it. I sneeze. Anyway, we've got units. We're going to focus on the customary system today. Inside, you guys have been working on the metric system, right? Metric system. In here, we're going to look at the U.S. customary system. So, feet, inches, yards, miles, and then units of capacity, pints, cups, gallons, weight, ounces, pounds, tons. And we have all these conversion factors. We're going to talk about what those are in just a second. So conversion factors is how we get back and forth between one of these. For instance, when I was in the kitchen, I was making pancakes. It called for, 3 tablespoons of something. It's called maple syrup. I didn't have a tablespoon. I only had a teaspoon. So I had to look up what's the conversion factor of a teaspoon to tablespoon. Anybody know? Off the top of your head? It's 3. There's 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. So I needed 9 teaspoons because I needed 3 tablespoons. There were 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. So I needed 9. Anyway, all of that is beside the point. The fact of the matter is this is what we're looking at. Looking at dimensional analysis. Now, 2 things that we have to know. What is the conversion factor? What is that? Well, it's a rate of one thing of something. So, a lot of times we write these as fractions. As I was saying, we have conversion factor. We need to write that down. Rates that are equal to 1 of something, okay? So we've got all those units. 1 foot equals 12 inches. That doesn't look like a fraction. Well, it can look like a fraction if I say 1 foot per 12 inches. Or if I say 1 yard per 3 feet. Or 100 centimeters per 1 meter. Notice, I'm saying the word per. What's that word per mean based on what I'm writing?
Inside.
No, I like that idea though, Scott. Nicholas?
1.
Nope. I was saying 1 foot per 12 inches. Then I said 1 yard per 3 feet. Then I said 100 centimeters per 1 meter.
Every.
Fraction, divided by. It's division. Per means division. 1 divided by 12 is 1/12. 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. 100 divided by 1 is 100. Okay. That's the per means division. Now, dimensional analysis is a way that we can structure our work to make it a little bit easier for us. We're going to do that by figuring out which conversion factors to use. And crossing off, canceling labels. Label is oftentimes units, okay? But I cancel out units. And here's what I do. So we've got these steps that we want to follow. We want to first set up a multiplication problem, okay? Where the first rate, or fraction, is the given information. Look at the example on the board. What's the given information? What's told to us in that problem? Only one person can read that problem? Rita?
That 5 feet equals a blank amount.
No, just 5 feet. Just 5 feet. 5 feet is given to us. So we have a first fraction, 5 feet. 5 feet as a fraction is
5 over 1.
5 feet over 1. That's the first fraction. The second fraction is a conversion factor. I want to get inches, so the conversion factor from feet to inches is 12 inches per 1 foot. You with me on that? First fraction is the given information, the second fraction is the conversion factor. Now, this piece of information, you want to really star this, or write it new, or make it big. That is important, that box of information that I have there. That's really big, okay? It's really important. That helps us remember how to set up our problem. And now, the purpose is of putting these units in a specific spot is I want to cross off common units. Notice here, do you see anything that's crossed off in this example on your notes? The feet were crossed off. Why can I do that? Well, when I have 1/3 times 3/4, what do we usually do when we multiply fractions in this step? What do we normally do? Marty? Where'd you go? Yeah. What do you got? Yeah.
Okay, you cross off the threes and make them ones.
Exactly. That's cross canceling, right? It's simplified. We factored out a 3. So, what can we factor out here? We factor out the feet. It's no different. Just factor it out. Alright? So now, we want to keep doing that until we get our desired unit. We crossed all the units, we got inches. Finalize that with, do the math by multiplying across the top and across the bottom. We want to write our answer with the correct labels. By label, I mean the correct unit. So when you multiply 5 times 12 inches, you get 60. 1 times 1, you get 1. 60 over 1 is then 60 inches. Now you guys are probably like, well, Mr. Tramp, why couldn't I just multiply 5 times 12? You can. But sometimes you're going to have to divide, aren't you? And so the question always is, do I multiply or do I divide? When I was teaching sophomores, they would always ask me that question. I'd be like, stop asking that question. Just set up your dimensional analysis. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. The units will tell you if you're going to multiply or divide. You don't have to think too much about that. You set up the units the right way, and you'll automatically know. Okay? So here we go. Let's try a couple. So we set up our problem. We are sticking in the U.S. customary list. So we're going to stay in this list over here. So we don't need any of that stuff. For these particular problems, don't cross it off. You want to have it. The first one, what is my given information? Yeah, beat up.
17 inches.
17 inches over 1. And now I want to do my multiplication. Notice, given unit over 1, new unit over given unit. What do I want my units to become? I want to get inches to become feet. So what is my conversion factor for that? Do you see it up there on the list? Go ahead and look at your list and see if you can find a conversion factor. Which one is it? The one that gets me from inches to feet. What is it? Where is that located? It's the first one. Look at that, look at that. Awesome planning. Man, what a teacher. What a teacher. It's like he planned it that way. He's a top man. So I got my conversion factor. It says 1 foot, 12 inches. Now, I have to be strategic about where I put my units. Where should the feet go? And where should the inches go? Why? So I'm going to put my units, keeping in mind what my goal is. What's my goal for my units?
Inches, feet,
What's my goal?
to cross.
To cross out some units. What unit do I want to get rid of? Inches, and I want to get
Feet.
good, exactly. So where are my units going to go? Annalise, where are my units going to go?
1 on the top, 12 on the bottom.
Good, that's not the question I asked. I asked where are my units going to go? Claire?
Feet on the top, inches on the bottom.
Good, feet on the top, inches on the bottom. I don't care about the numbers. Eventually I will, but I don't care. Why? Well, because inches and inches will cross cancel. Alright? So now, I go back up and I plug in my numbers. Annalise was right. 1 goes on top, 12 goes on bottom. Because the conversion factor says 1 foot, 12 inches, 1 foot per 12 inches. And now I can cross cancel, simplify, resolve. Cross cancel those inches. 17 times 1 foot gives me 17 feet. 1 times 12 gives me 12. So 17 over 12. 12 goes into 17 how many times? Once, with a remainder of 5 slots. Can't be with me? Good. You seem less engaged. Okay, no. Alright, next one. Now this one I bet you can do in your head. Let's be honest. Most of you guys know this one. 4 yards is how many feet?
12, 10,
All you football players, right? 4 yards equals 12 feet. We already know the answer to this one. let's practice this new technique so we can make sure that we got it down. Because when we get to ones we don't just know, we'll want to have a technique that we can use. So what's our given information? 4 yards. That's what's given. I want to get from yards to feet. Is there a conversion factor for yards to feet?
Yes.
Yes, there is. What is it?
1 yard equals 2 feet.
Which one is it on the list?
Second one,
Oh,
second.
what a thinker.
No way.
The number 3 is not going to be the third one, I'm just letting you know. It's 1 yard equals 3 feet. So yes, there is a conversion factor. So I need to make my next fraction be yards and feet. Where are the yards going to go? Why? Because we want to cross cancel those yards, which means the feet are going to go at the top. Our goal is to be able to cancel out those yards. We'll be able to cross cancel. We'll factor out the yards. Now let's plug in the numbers. The numbers just fall into place, don't they? What goes on top and what goes on bottom? We look at the conversion factor. Up at the top, 1 yard, 3 feet. So where are the numbers going to go? Where's 3 going to go?
Top.
Top. Why?
Because it's the feet.
It literally says 3 feet, so I should plug in 3 where it has the feet, 1 yard. Let's cross cancel some stuff. Yards, yards. 4 times 3 feet gives me 12 feet. And 1 times 1 gives me 1. 12 over 1 feet is 12 feet. Question so far? Let's do the last one. All right, what's given?
38 ounces.
38 ounces. What do I want?
Limbs.
I want what?
Pounds.
Pounds. LBS is pounds. Everybody say LBS?
LBS.
Everybody say pounds?
Pounds.
LBS is pounds.
LBS is pounds.
Good, awesome. So what's LB?
LB.
What's LB? Pounds. Okay. Do we have a conversion factor for this one? Ounces to pounds.
Yes.
We do. Where is it? Close to the bottom, third from the bottom, right? Good. So I can use that to set up my next conversion factor. Ounces to pounds. So ounces and pounds. Where are they going to go? Tell your partner where they're going to go. Ready, set, and tell them.
Ounces on the bottom, pounds on top.
Why are ounces on the bottom? Michelle, why do we want to put them on the bottom? So we can cross what? The way we said it was, we said it's where we can cross cancel. Cross cancel. Awesome. Now, what are the numbers? Where are the numbers and where are they going to go? Tell your partner what the numbers are and where they're going to go.
1 pound goes on top, 16 ounces bottom.
Cameron, your partner can be the 2 ladies behind you. All right, girl, where are those numbers going?
One's gonna be on the bottom, and then, wait, no, 16's gonna be on the bottom, and one's gonna be on the top.
Good, so why'd you make that change?
Cause I got messed up.
No, so why did you change this? You said one was going to be on the bottom, and then you're like, wait, no. Why did you recognize that that wasn't going to be right?
Because like it was a cross cancel, and then like, 1 ounce is 16 pounds.
Yeah, 1 ounce is really little, 16 pounds is really big. And the conversion factor literally says what?
Pound.
1 pound. So what should this say?
1 pound.
And this one says 16 ounces, so what should this say?
16 ounces.
Exactly. This is your conversion factor. And then when we cross cancel, we have our ounces, ounces. But we have one other thing we can cross cancel. You guys remember?
1 and 1.
Cross cancel the numbers. Of course, 1 and 1 will cross cancel to 1. But the numbers are also, they also can cross cancel. What do you notice about 38 and 16? They're both what? They're both even, therefore we can cross cancel 2 out of them. 38 divided by 2 is 19. 16 divided by 8 is, or divided by 2 is 8. Now let's do our multiplication. 19 times 1 pound gives us 19 pounds. 1 times 8 gives us 8. 19 over 8. So how many times does 8 go into 19? 2 with a remainder of 3. Questions? These were all pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
So the idea behind this is we're just converting. Don't ever ask the question, do I multiply or divide? The question is always, where are my units going to go to help it? Okay? Now, sometimes we're going to get some that are a little bit trickier. We are going to do number 4, but we're going to set it up so we can see why number 4 is a little trickier. So we have 8 tons, and I'm just going to walk us through it. have 8 tons, and I want ounces, okay? So normally it would be like this, right? We put the tons on the bottom, put ounces on the top. But I have a dilemma. Look at my conversion factors. Do you see any tons to ounces conversion factors?
No.
I see a tons to pounds, so I won't be able to do that. I can't do tons to ounces. On the top of that fraction, it's gonna have to go from tons to what? Pounds. But that's not what I want. So I gotta do another conversion, don't I?
Yeah.
What am I gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to do pounds to ounces. Do you see how that could be, why this could get a little trickier? That's why I don't just say, hey, let's just multiply, let's just divide. Because eventually they're gonna get a little bit trickier and you have to do multiple steps. So that's why we don't just be like, well, I can multiply times 12, or I can divide by 2. We wanna set up the problem. Now we'd be able to cross cancel. We're not gonna actually do number 4, that's all I wanted to do. We're gonna do that tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna do this tomorrow. So I wanted you to see why this is gonna be really important for us, this strategy. Let's do number 6. You're gonna do number 6, but I want to point out one thing before you do it. Can someone read that? Emma, can you read that one out loud for us, just what's given to us?
3 cups and 9 fluid ounces.
Yeah, 3 cups, 9 fluid ounces. What do we want to go to, Emma?
Fluid ounces.
But I already have part of this in fluid ounces, don't I? So what should I do with this chunk? What should I do with that?
Divide.
It's already where I want it. So what should I do with it? Put it to the side. Let's tack it on later. So add this on at the end. What's given to you now? 3 cups. I want you and your partner to do this one. Figure it out. Check your answer with me in a moment. Just do it real fast. Find that conversion factor, y'all. Point out the conversion factor to your partner so you know that you're on the same page.
Then you just multiply those, take out the cups, multiply by 24/1.